Hi guys. Hola, welcome. If you're joining in, say a word to describe how you're feeling right now. I'll go first. I'm feeling a little anxious, I'm gonna be honest. I never go Instagram live if you pay attention. But it's this little voice that has been telling me you need to go on Instagram live and you need to share your story. And I know that little voice is God. But I'm just like, oh, I really don't want to do that. Being on live, it makes me anxious. I don't know why. Even to be honest, even all the Instagram reels y'all see me make, me talking, even all the YouTube videos I make, I have a little bit of anxiety when I do those too. But when God tells you to do something and you have a calling, you have to be obedient. So here I am. But oh, you feeling calm? Okay, good. Good. I love to hear that. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit anxious, but I'm feeling centered at the same time. And I just have to remind myself, even though I'm the one talking, it's really not about me. It's really about who I can help and who I can bless with my story. So, yeah, if you're just joining in, write one word that describes how you're feeling right now. And, I want to give a little more people a chance to come in and join. I know I have quite a bit of new followers, and I've had so many people reach out to me, ask me questions, and it's just so funny to me because I just think to myself, like, you have no idea who I used to be, what I used to do. So yeah, like I said, God told me it's time to I need some more water. It's time to share my little story, my little testimony, pretty much about how I became the person I am now. Greetings. Yeah, I'm good. Like I said, I'm just a little anxious because I don't really like going live. I don't like doing Instagram live, but like I said, God told me it's time to, share my story. So yeah, come on in. I don't know how many people are going to end up watching this. So, I'm going to just go ahead and start. And I have little bullet points of stuff that I want to talk about. So I might be looking down, sometimes. So yeah, I used to be a very different person. I used to be a very different person than the woman y'all see, sharing all these messages on Instagram. There was a period of my life, probably from 18 to 23, I was busting it open. I was being promiscuous. I was out in these streets. And it wasn't because I was like, ooh, I just want to be liberated and sleep around and, honestly, subconsciously, I was using sex to get love. I didn't realize it at the time. At the time, I did think oh, if a man can do it, why can't I? I can do it without feeling attached. I can, have FCX with a guy and, I could just move on like nothing ever happened. That's what I told myself. But deep down, like I said, I was using sex to get love. And there was also a period in my life where I was drinking every single day. every single day, I'm not exaggerating, I would be drinking at 7 in the morning before I went to work. And I was drinking E&J. That's how you know. That's how you know it's bad. When you're drinking E&J at 7 in the morning, yeah, I was wilding out. But the reason why I was, pretty much using alcohol to numb myself was because I was miserable. I was using it to cope because I was going into a job that I despised and hated. Every single day that I went into that job, I was miserable. And it really wasn't because of the job specifically. It was more so the fact that I know this is not what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Like, I have a greater purpose than coming into this call center every day and talking on the phone and feeling like a robot. So, yeah, I also used to be really judgmental. I used to be so judgmental, but the reason why I was judgmental of other people is because I was judgmental of myself. I was super critical of myself. I used to gossip a lot. I used to, not only was I gossiping about other people, I was gossiping about my own business. I was spreading my own business. And believe it or not, I used to have really low self-esteem. I'm not exaggerating, and I can't believe I'm like sharing all this. But I used to really hate myself, and it was so much to the point. There were so many times, I'm not being dramatic, I'm being honest. There were so many times I wanted to kill myself. And ever since I was a little kid, I've struggled with anxiety, I have an anxiety disorder. I do like that because I don't really want to claim that. And it doesn't define me. Like I said, even me, sharing my story right now, I'm feeling a little anxious. But like I said, when God tells me to do stuff these days, I have to be obedient because I've suffered the consequences of not being obedient. There's so many times I heard God's voice telling me, stop dealing with this person. You need to stop doing this. You need to slow down. But I would just ignore that voice. So yeah, I'm not ignoring God's voice anymore. But going back to the period of my life where I was, busting it open and being promiscuous, that was due to a lot of childhood trauma. Because I don't want to make it seem like every woman has daddy issues, but I definitely had, daddy issues. Not only was my father in and out of my life, mostly out, but he would pop in sometimes. I was molested when I was 3 by him. And I'm gonna be honest, at one point in time, I despised him. I hated him. I felt disgusted just at the thought of him. But believe it or not, I forgive him. Not only do I forgive him, I actually have empathy for him. I know that sounds crazy, but I actually have empathy for him because I know that he's just mentally ill. And I've had people tell me in the past, like, if my, father molested me, I would never forgive him. I can't believe you forgive him. But I have to forgive him because I don't want to sound cliche, but once you really, really, really are in tune with your spirit, a person who's truly spiritual, they're able to look past the surface. They're able to see beyond, oh, he molested you, he's a devil, he's, whatever. And I don't even really like to talk about it or like say, that he molested me because, like I said, he's mentally ill. And I already know that he probably has a lot of mental battles that he's already struggling with. So, the average person would be like, so what? Like, he needs to be exposed, blah, blah, blah. But I don't feel that way because, like I said, when you are truly spiritual and you understand stuff on a spiritual level, you have no choice but to forgive. So, yeah, I forgive my father, but I don't deal with him. I don't speak to him. Also, I had, resentment towards my mom. Don't get me wrong, me and my mom have a great relationship now. Shout out to my mama if you're watching. But yeah, I had a lot of resentment towards her growing up because I'm the oldest of 3 kids. And because she was a young single mother of 3, and she didn't really have a lot of help, I was pretty much the second mom. And I had a lot of resentment towards her because I felt like I didn't fully get to be a child. I had so much responsibilities at such a young age. Like, I had to be mature. I've always been wise beyond my years because I kind of didn't have a choice. Like, I always had to be more mature than what I really was. Like, I was forced into that position. But like I said, me and my mom have a great relationship now. Shout out to my mom. But yeah, I would say the first part of me healing from everything that happened in my childhood, and I haven't even scratched the surface of everything that happened in my childhood, because, I don't want to be like, violin, listen to my sob story. I just want to give you guys just bits and pieces. But yeah, because I had issues with my parents for completely different reasons, that definitely affected my self-esteem growing up, especially not having my father around. Even if he was around, honestly, that probably wouldn't have helped matters, considering, he is mentally, sick. But I had to forgive my parents. That was the first part of me healing. That was the first part of my healing process, was forgiving my parents. And I think a lot of times we look at our parents subconsciously, we look at our parents as gods. They're the ones who brought us into this earth. So we put them on such a high pedestal, not realizing and remembering they're just a human. They're just humans. They're just 2 humans that did the nasty. And, that's how I got here. So yeah, that was the first step of my healing process. I had to forgive my parents. But I would say the healing really started in, it's so hard for me to talk about some of this stuff, but like I said, when God tells me to do something, I have to be obedient. But back in 2020, my brother committed suicide. And that really opened up things in me that I completely forgot was there. That really opened up things in me that I completely forgot happened. Things from my childhood that I forgot happened. Things from my teenage years that I forgot happened. And that really, really started the healing process for me. But I didn't heal as much as I could have. I think that's somebody's motorcycle. But I didn't heal as much as I could have because I was in a very toxic, chaotic relationship. Please ignore the motorcycle outside. But hopefully he drives away. He always picks the worst times. But anyways, yeah, it was hard for me to fully heal because I was still in a very toxic, chaotic relationship. And I haven't even looked at these notes. I'm just letting it come out. Like, before I got on here, I said a prayer and I said, God, please use me as a vessel. Use me as a vessel. Speak through me. Take away any anxiety, fear. Just let me speak from my heart. And like I said, use me as a vessel. But let me make sure that I'm hitting all the points that I want to hit. I haven't read anybody's comments because I'm just trying to focus on, getting this message out there. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, I'm probably going to save this to my profile so you can, watch the playback. Oh yeah, wow. So I'm literally talking about everything I plan on talking about without even looking at the paper. Okay, so forget the paper. forget the bullet points. I'm gonna just speak from my heart. But I want to be careful about speaking on my previous relationship because I know that person has a lot of mental issues and mental battles, and I don't want to add on to that. I'm not interested in, I'm going to expose this person and say everything they did to me. I'm not interested in that, but I will give you guys just a little piece so you can understand what I came out of. But like I said, it was very toxic and chaotic. And let's just say I wasn't the one who was causing the chaos, but I was definitely tolerating it. And that's because I didn't love myself. I did not love myself. So I could sit here and, give this sob story. This person did X, Y, Z. But no, I have to take accountability because I didn't love myself. And to be honest, the first night I was with this person, I knew I had no business being with that person. Literally, like God was screaming at me. My intuition was screaming at me and telling me, this is not the man God has for you. You have no business dealing with this man. But I ignored my intuition. I ignored God because I didn't love myself. I still had self-esteem issues that I had to work through. But yeah, it was very chaotic. I'm gonna be honest, that was probably, even out of everything I've been through in my life, my brother's suicide, me being molested, all types of different stuff, that was probably the hardest thing I ever went through in my life. And like I said, I will not go into details because I'm considerate of the fact that even though this person did things they shouldn't have done, I am not interested in exposing anybody, or I just want to be very careful because at the end of the day, hurt people hurt people. Hurt people. I have no interest in, putting anybody on blast. But I'm gonna be honest, there was times I felt like I was in a sci-fi thriller. That's how much it really, I really felt like I was losing my mind, being in this relationship. And what made it even worse is I was very secretive. Because I call myself I want to protect him. And, if I'm not going to leave him, then I need to just be quiet and not tell anybody what's going on. But no, if I would have told people what was going on, they probably would have got me to leave way sooner than I did. But something finally happened. Something happened that I, never thought would happen. And that finally woke me up. That finally made me realize, no, I can't do this anymore. I have to leave this relationship. And that was really hard for me. It was really, really hard for me because, like I said, I didn't love myself. So my self-esteem was attached to being with this person. But once that particular incident happened, I was like, oh no, this is life or death. I cannot do this. I'm playing with my life. So, yeah, I left, and it was, technically I didn't leave. That person, moved out, but, I walked away from the relationship. And I remember just crying my eyes out, just begging God, please help me get through this. This is the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life. Please help me get through this. There was a point in time, and I'm gonna be honest, I cry every day, but now I cry every day because I'm grateful, I'm joyful, I'm happy. But there was a point in time, right after that breakup, I was crying every single day, not tears of joy, tears of sorrow, just begging God, please help me to get over this. Please help me to heal, and not just heal from him. See, a lot of times when people go through a breakup, they think, oh, I just need to heal from this person. No, 9 times out of 10, you need to heal from everything that happened prior to that person that led you to be in a relationship with that person in the first place. So I was begging God to please help me heal, not just from this relationship. Yes, from this relationship, but also from everything that happened prior to this relationship. Everything that led up to me getting into this relationship, why I ignored my intuition, why I was willing to put that person not only before myself, but I put that person before God, and I had to repent. Like, I had a really dark night of the soul where, like I said, I was crying every single day, begging God, please take this pain away. Please, Lord, I'm tired of leading my own life. I want you to lead me. I want you to lead me. I'm tired of doing things my way, because doing it my way obviously it ain't working. Obviously it ain't working. So I had to surrender. And I told myself, I am going to be dedicated to my healing. I'm dedicated to my healing. I'm not playing around no more. I'm not, let me start dating and talking to new people, and let me get on a dating app, and let me do this and do that. I'm about to go out partying and drinking. No, I told myself I'm not going to be doing that. I'm dedicated to my healing, because at this point, everything I went through in my life, it's life or death. It's life or death. I don't know it's Nax. I don't know who was just trying to join the live, but please do not try to join the live, because I need to, focus on getting this message out here. I don't mean to be rude, but yeah. What was I saying? I realized, like, this is life or death. Like, I'm playing with my life, because the thing is, if you don't heal, if you keep carrying all that unresolved trauma, all that stress, all that baggage, all those burdens of everything that happened in your life, people don't realize that's what leads to diseases. Stress, unresolved trauma, constantly living in a fight or flight state, that's what leads to diseases. So that's when I realized, I'm like, God, I'm dedicated to you, and I'm dedicated to my healing. And literally after that person moved out, I started praying every single morning. Can you please stop? Oh, that's my cat. But yeah, I started praying every single morning. And of course, before, I would pray here and there, when I need something, God, please help me do this, help me do that. But no, I told myself, I have to pray every single morning. I have to have that constant communication with God. Like, I realized I needed God. I've always needed God, but that's when I finally realized, girl, you putting your everything into this man, but you really need to be leaning on God. So that's when I told myself, like, I have to pray every single morning. I have to start my day off praying. First of all, thank God for waking me up. And then second of all, I can, ask him to help me get through the day. Ask him to give me strength, so on and so forth. Another thing that I decided, I didn't even write down on a piece of paper, I'm going to pray every day. I'm going to meditate every day. It just naturally happened that way. I just started listening to my spirit. And I told myself I have to pray every single morning when I wake up, and I have to meditate every single morning. For the past 9 months that me and that person, split up and I've been living on my own again, there has not been a day where I haven't meditated and prayed when I woke up in the morning. Even when I'm on vacation, the times I went on vacation in the past 9 months, I make sure I meditate and pray every single day, every single morning when I wake up, because that is what helps me not only stay connected to God, but stay connected to my spirit. And another thing that I did that, helped me heal and become this person that you guys see today, I talked to myself in the mirror. I would talk to myself in the mirror, and I would speak life into myself every single day. And I still do it to this day. I don't care what nobody thinks. Like, yes, when I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I say, hey, beautiful, How you doing this morning? You look so beautiful. You're so gorgeous. You're so wise. Like, I literally look in the mirror and pour life into myself and speak life into myself, because there was a point in time, like I said, where I really hated myself. I had body dysmorphia. I used to think I was ugly. Like, I can't believe the self-image that I used to have. I can't believe how I used to view myself, because now, let me tell you something. I love myself. I love myself, flaws and all. But it's crazy because I never thought I would get to this point, because like I said, I had really low self-esteem, really bad anxiety, and I still, struggle with anxiety, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. And I just wasn't confident in myself. Like, I wanted to be like everybody else, but I didn't realize how special and unique I was, and that I needed to embrace the way God made me. Every little flaw, from, the veins in my eyes. I don't know if y'all see them because I got makeup on. Even, how my voice, shakes and cracks sometimes because I have anxiety. Even my gap, every little thing about me, flaws, all the flaws that I have, I love, because guess what? This is how God made me. If I don't love the way God made me, that's a slap in the face to God. But I'm kind of going on a tangent right now. But yeah, I talk to myself in the mirror every morning. I speak life into myself. I uplift myself. I give myself little pep talks and speeches. And another thing that I do, I say affirmations every single morning. And I have an affirmation for any time a negative thought creeps in. I have an affirmation for any negative thought that will creep in. That's been helping me to reprogram my subconscious. And it's crazy. We have to give our parents and our grandparents grace, because they didn't have all the information that we have access to today. They didn't have Google. They didn't have smartphones and laptops and all that to be able to look up stuff about mental health or to watch videos on YouTube. So that's just a little side note. We need to give the older generations grace, because they didn't have all the tools and resources that we have today. But I used to have really, really, really bad panic attacks. And I didn't know anything about the subconscious mind. I didn't know anything about anxiety. I didn't even know what panic attacks were. I didn't realize what I was having was panic attacks. I just thought I was crazy. And I would be like, what is wrong with me? Like, why? Like, what is wrong with me? I don't understand. Then when I got older, I realized, oh, you just have anxiety. Okay. And you having anxiety is a result of the trauma that happened in your early childhood. But yeah, it has been quite a journey. It's been a hell of a journey, but it's been beautiful. And I am constantly shocking myself, because there's so many situations, so many tests that I have throughout the day where I shock myself, because I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I handled that so calmly. I can't believe that I didn't get mad. I didn't get frustrated. When that person cut me off and flicked me off, I just smiled and said, God bless you. Who is this woman that I'm becoming? Because let me tell y'all something. I would be quick to snap at somebody. I'm not gonna lie, I used to kind of be a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. And I would always say, I'm just keeping it real. I just tell it like it is. But I had to realize you can keep it real without being rude. You don't have to be rude to be real. There's a loving way to speak your mind and say how you feel. And sometimes some things are better left unsaid. You don't have to say everything that's on your mind, especially if it's not going to uplift a person or help them. But yeah, I do not drink every day anymore. I actually only drink twice a week. Most of the time I'm drinking plum wine. If any of my friends are on this live, y'all know I love me some plum wine. But yeah, now I only drink twice a week. Every once in a while, occasionally I will drink hard liquor if it's mixed with a fruit drink or whatever. But yeah, I have no desire to drink as much as I used to. I will be honest, I do smoke cannabis. I do smoke cannabis and CBD. I'm never gonna lie to y'all. I'm always gonna be transparent and honest, about who I am and what I do, because I'm not ashamed. And if I feel convicted about something, if something in my spirit tells me I need to stop doing something, I will stop doing it. But if not, I'm not gonna be ashamed. But yeah, like I said, I have not had sex in 9 months, since me and my last person split up. And I can't believe I'm sharing this with you guys. But yeah, I'm actually not having sex until my future husband proposes. And I actually made that decision. Let me stop lying. I didn't actually make that decision. God made the decision for me. God made the decision for me because I had anxiety about sharing my body with a man again. I was just the thought of opening my legs and sharing my life force with another man, it kind of scares me if he's not my husband. I want to make sure that the next man I, share my body with is my husband. So literally there was a little voice that, said, okay, well, you got to wait until he proposes. And I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. It's 2023 and I ain't no virgin. So why am I going to say all of a sudden, oh, I'm not having sex until, I'm engaged, until a man proposes to me. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But literally that voice kept creeping in. It kept literally whispering, if you want to make sure if you want to make sure the next man you have sex with is your husband, you got to keep your legs closed until he proposes. Literally kept hearing that voice, literally over 3 weeks, kept hearing that little voice inside. But I just was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like I said, it's 2023. Let's be realistic, God, because I know that was God. But yeah, something finally happened. Something finally switched in me where I was like, you know what, God? I'm going to be obedient. If you tell me not to have sex again until my future husband proposes, I'm not having sex again until he proposes. And I can't believe that I made that decision because, like I said, I used to be busting it open. I used to be, very promiscuous, right? Now, I don't want to say very because some people might be like, oh, that wasn't even that bad. That's not even a lot of people. But to me, especially how I am now, how I value and respect myself now, to me, it was a lot. But yeah, I can't believe I came to that decision because, like I said, I used to be busting it open. I was a very freaky girl. But yeah, like I said, these days, I want to be obedient to God because I suffered the consequences of not being obedient to God. And yeah, I just don't want to do it no more. I done been through too much stuff, and I have to be honest and take responsibility and say, I've put myself through a lot of stuff too by being disobedient and just pleasure seeking and just doing what I wanted to do. And like I said, at first, I, was telling God, hold up now. I'm not waiting to have sex until, a man proposes to me because, it's not that serious, God. Why I gotta do that? So I was really trying to negotiate with God. And literally, like I said, something switched in me where God was like, okay, if you don't want to just listen to me telling you not to do this, let me remind you of the consequences you suffered from having premarital sex and having unprotected sex. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be 100% transparent because really it's not about me. It's about who I can bless with my story. I had 2 abortions. I had an abortion when I was 19. Then I had another abortion when I was 22. And both times I found out when I was 5 weeks. And both times I had the abortions when I was 6 weeks. Also, both times I found out 3 weeks before my birthday. I don't know what it is with those numbers, but I feel like that's spiritual. And I remember how I felt both times. The first time, I didn't have any medicine or anything like that. Literally, when they did it, it felt like they were sucking the life out of me. Because they were literally sucking the life out of me. And that reminded me, Kyla, you have to be careful with your life force. Sex is not just sex. And I'm not trying to, please, I don't want to come off like I'm trying to judge or tell people, don't have sex before marriage. People can do whatever they want. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. But I really don't want to come across like I'm judging or, telling people, you're bad if you have sex before marriage. I'm not saying that. I'm just sharing my story. But what was I saying? Not having sex until marriage. Oh yeah, I don't want to come off judgmental or tell people truth is an offense but not a sin. That's true. Yeah, I really want to be careful because I never want to come off preachy because like I said, I used to be on these streets. I was not perfect. I'm still not perfect, but I was very different from how I am now. How I am now is an angel compared to how I used to be. Yeah, like I said, it literally felt like the life was being sucked out of me. And that reminded me, Kyla, you can't just be out here sharing your life force with anybody because sex is not just sex. The fact that you can make a whole human from sex, it shouldn't be taken lightly. If you are going to be having sex though, if you are going to be busting it open, please try to use a condom. Even if you, are on, do what you want. Like I said, I'm not trying to judge people or tell people what to do. But like I said, sex is not just sex. And it took me a really long time to realize that and accept that. And on top of me having 2 abortions in my early 20s, I'm 30 now, guys. These things happened a long time ago. This happened in my past life. But on top of that, when I was 18, I caught an STD. I caught chlamydia when I was 18. And I remember they called me on Christmas Eve and they're like, Miss Muhammad, you tested positive for chlamydia. And I just started crying. I'm like, no, my life is over. Why? And they're like, no, it's okay. We have medicine. We can get rid of it. And I was like, oh, okay. But I still felt dirty. I just felt disgusted with myself. And I'm just like, I'm not going to lie. I had to be humbled because I always thought, that would never happen to me. I would never catch an STD. But sure enough, I did. Luckily, it was something, I was able to get rid of. Luckily, it wasn't something like HIV or whatever. But yeah, God reminded me of all the consequences I suffered from having premarital sex and especially having unprotected sex. Even the times I used condoms with guys, I still felt dirty. I felt dirty afterwards. I felt like I gave a piece of myself away that I could never get back. So like I said, I'm still a free spirit. I'm still, a wild child, but I'm just a free spirit and wild child that respects herself now. So like I said, the woman you see now is not the woman I was 5 to 10 years ago. I was a completely different person. Like I said, I was drinking every day. I was, I had a promiscuous period where I was kind of just careless. Like I said, because I didn't love myself. And I was very judgmental. And like I said, I have very low self-esteem. I had a lot of issues. Who I am today, sometimes I have to pinch myself because I'm like, I can't believe I've become this person. I never thought I would have. To be honest with you, probably most of my life, I always felt like there was a dark cloud over me. I always felt like I'm never going to be happy. That's why there were so many times throughout my life, I was very suicidal. And I know a lot of people have thoughts of suicide, but no, I would actually be Googling stuff how to kill yourself like easily, how to have a painless suicide. It was really bad. And when I was a teenager, I used to cut myself. God has really brought me a long way. God has really brought me a long way. And if I do start crying, it's not because I'm sad, it's because I'm grateful. It's because I'm happy. Like, man, I don't know who's like watching this. I don't know who's going to watch this, but I'm telling you, who I am now, I never thought in a million years I could become this person. Like, I am so mentally strong. I am so in touch with my spirit. I respect and love myself so much. I have so much confidence. And my confidence comes from God. It comes from God. That's why even if I'm anxious or nervous about something, I'm still going to use my voice. I'm still going to speak my mind. Even if my voice shakes, I'm going to still speak my mind because my confidence comes from God. I used to be really in my ego. It was crazy because I had a superiority complex, but I also had an inferiority complex. On one hand, I was looking down on people and feeling like I was morally righteous and better than them. But on the other hand, I felt inferior to people too. I don't feel none of that no more. I used to be jealous of people. I used to be envious of people. I don't feel none of that no more. I'll be so happy for people when they win because I feel like somebody else winning, that's me winning. Like, it blows my mind how I became this person, but I know it's because of God. It's because of God. Yes, I had to do the work. Don't get me wrong. But it was me seeking God and leaning on God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying therapy is bad or therapy, doesn't help people. But by the time I went to therapy, I was really like, why am I here? Even my therapist, there would be times he would kind of look at me like, why are you here? But that's because by the time I got to therapy, I had already did so much inner work. I had already did so much shadow work. I was really locked in with God. And that's really what brought me out of not even just one dark time. That's what really brought me out of the mindset I had spent most of my life in. I was constantly in a fight or flight state. I constantly had a poverty mindset, a lack mindset, a scarcity mindset. Like I said, I really did not believe in myself. I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't love myself. And that's the reason why, when people would compliment me or be like, oh, you're so beautiful. I'd be like, really? I really did not see it because I had so much trauma from my childhood that I had to overcome. And like I said, nowadays, I cry almost every day. I'm surprised I felt myself about to cry, but I didn't, so I'm happy. But I'm surprised I ain't cried on this live because, like I said, I'll be crying every day, but it's not because I'm sad. It's because I'm grateful. It's because, it blows my mind how far God has brought me in the past 9 months. It really blows my mind. And like I said, I'm not the type of person, even though y'all see me posting a lot of Instagram reels, messages or whatever, really, deep down, I'm a low-key person. I like to, keep to myself and be to myself. But when I feel something in my spirit, I have to do it, even if I don't want to. Like I said, I didn't want to come on Instagram Live. I'm not the type of person to be like, hey, look at me, pay attention to me. Not saying people who go on Instagram Live think like that, but, some people do. But like I said, I like to just be low-key into myself. I like to just be chilling with me, God, and my cat, my little kitty right here. Y'all can't see him. But, yeah, hopefully I did not forgive. I said, hopefully I did not forgive. Ooh, Lord. Hopefully I did not forget anything. For the people who are just now joining, hopefully I can make sure that I save this live. Just so, if you want to watch the playback, you can. But, what was I going to say? Oh, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. But, yeah. Moral of the story is, moral of the story is seek God. Seek God. Yes, if you want to go to therapy, try out therapy. if you want to get some medicine for your mental disorder or whatever you're struggling with, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, God is all you have and God is all you need. It took me going through a lot of shit. It took me going through I had to go through hell to get to heaven. And I'm so happy. Don't get me wrong. I am so happy and grateful for everything I went through. I'm so grateful for everything I went through, because honestly, if it wasn't for everything I went through, I don't know how I would have became this person. I really don't know how I would have became this person. Seek God. Yes, you can do other things. Like I said, I meditate. Sometimes I do yoga. I work out. I do all the self-care, mental health stuff. But the number one thing that I do is I seek God. I make sure that I'm connected to God. Not a day goes by that I don't pray. Not a day goes by that I don't give thanks. I don't just pray in the morning when I wake up. I'm constantly praying throughout the day. I need God in my life more than anything else. And I know that if I have God in my life, everything else is going to come. I just got to be patient and keep being obedient and doing what I'm supposed to do. But yes. What is your sign? I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign. Fire. Put some fire emojis, y'all. It's like, nah. Let me read some of these comments. My doctor told me to get medicine for my anxiety. I was about to take it, but then I thought about the power of God, and he has been carrying me through. Oh my God, I love to hear that. God bless you. God bless you. I'm gonna be honest. There was a point in time I was just so desperate. I was like, maybe I do need to get on some medicine. Maybe I need some medicine to help with my anxiety. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I do smoke cannabis and CBD, so I guess you could say that's kind of a medicine for me. But yeah, I like what you said. I realize all I really need is God. All I need is God. If I seek God every day, it's a scripture that says, seek God continually. Constantly seek God. Don't just, on Sundays when I go to church, that's when I pray, that's when I know. Every single day, all throughout the day. I have a peace, like I said, I have a peace and a confidence that I have never had in my life. Like I said, sometimes I can't even believe I am who I am now. I can't believe the person that I've turned into. I'm so loving and kind and understanding and forgiving of people. I did not used to be like that. Like I said, I kind of used to be a bitch. How long have I been on here? I know they cut you off at a certain times. So many comments. Hopefully I can read them afterwards. But yes, I love you guys. And I hope that my testimony bless somebody and help somebody. And yeah. Adios. Hopefully I can, how do I save this?